focus on is recovery footwork based on what shot we are hitting to our opponent. So this is a little more advanced. Now we've built up the foundation. We've talked about how to get to the forehand front court in an offensive position. We've talked about how to get back in the usual scenarios using two recovery methods, the drag or the hop back. But now we're going to take it one step further and we're going to talk about how that recovery changes based on what shot we have chosen to hit. So in a single scenario, we've started from our prep jump, getting a solid push, and now what the key is not only to think about how we're getting out to the bird, but also to think about what shot we're hitting. So it takes a little more effort up here for the concentration because now we have to actually be imagining what shot are we hitting to our opponent. So the two common shots to hit from an offensive footwork position in the forehand side are a net shot or a lift shot. So for the net shot, let's start with that. So prep left, kick out. Now we're here and we're hitting our net shot. Instead of jumping all the way back and trying to get back to the tee, the correct way to wait for the reply of the net shot is actually to just do a little prep jump almost on the spot, about 6 inches to a foot back towards the tee. But this is good news for those of you who don't like to move as much, because you don't have to move very far away after you've hit your net shot. The purpose of that is the net shot is going to come back very quickly. So if I'm jumping all the way back to the base, to my tee base back here, my opponent is going to simply hit a net shot reply for which I'll be far away from it and now I'll be on the defense. So that's why we get to cheat forward after we hit the net shot from the net, and we stay just a mini prep jump back and we keep our racket up so it's ready to go back again if our opponent hits the reply. So let's see what that looks like. Prep left, reach, and I've imagined in my head that I've hit the net shot, and then I'm waiting here, just a short recovery jump for which I can then follow up again if the bird comes back to me at the net. Now, one thing to be aware of on all the shots that we've covered so far with the footwork, even when you're imagining them, you have to be aware that you want to land and hit together with your foot. That's a really important point. Landing and hitting together at the same time. Because if you don't, if you land first and then hit, you've wasted time waiting for the bird to come to you. On an offensive position, you always want to go to the bird. Reach with your racket as early as you can to connect with the bird out in front, which is why we time it so the landing and the hit come together. Prep, left, hit together. So if I add in that net shot, prep, left, hit, and then I'm waiting, and then I can follow up. So in real time, it looks like this. Prep, left, reach, waiting, follow up. Prep, left, reach, waiting, follow up. Make sure you keep that racket up, because no matter how ready your feet are, if your racket isn't ready, you won't be able to capitalize on your anticipating the reply, because your racket will take time to come up from down below. So that's the straight net reply. Now let's cover what happens when I do a lift reply. So this means if I've come in the same way to this high offensive shot, but then now instead of hitting the net shot, I hit a lift or a lob that goes to the back. So in this case, now, sorry to say for those of you lazy people who don't like to move, now you have to move again. all the way back. So I've done my lift, and now I have to get back to the middle of the court. Even though it's an offensive push, we're still trying to hit an offensive shot, but I still have to come back because my opponent could still hit in other areas of the court. So this is what that looks like. Prep, left, push, and all the way back. Prep, left, push, and now I have to come all the way back. And I still have my 2 choices of recovery, but I have to make sure I get the distance back. Push, all the way back. Let's show those 2 on the left side. Prep, left, tight net shot, little hop back with my racket up, and then following it up with the tap. Prep, left, reach, little prep jump, back again. Now if I lift or do a pressure push into the corner on the straight side, prep, right, push, and then I have to come all the way back again because now I've hit my opponent into the corner. Back. So that, now we've covered the reply footwork to the straight net shot and the straight push or lob shot. What about cross court? Because those more advanced players amongst you are able to hit not only straight but also cross court. So let's go back and talk about the cross net shot. So we've done our prep, left coming out, and now I'm hitting across. I'm imagining that I'm hitting a net shot across. So now if I just do my little jump back that I did when I hit the straight shot, I'm going to be miles away from the bird. So the cross net requires a strong push towards the cross court. So after I've hit the cross court shot, then my footwork for recovery is now a strong push over to be able to cover the reply, the likely reply, which is a straight net shot back. So it looks like this. Cross court, and I jump over, so then I can cover there. Prep jump, cross net, jump over, so I can cover the close reply on the straight. Let's see it with the left hand. Cross court, big jump over, so I can cover the reply. Cross, big jump over, cover. Notice how my feet, I'm no longer jumping back like I was in the more basic footwork that we did in the past sessions. Now when I'm keeping the bird to the net, I'm staying closer to the net. I'm giving away, even for singles, I'm giving away the back because I'm anticipating the reply to come back to me at the net. So that's the cross net shot. Now the last of the 4 is to talk about the cross-court push or the cross-court lob shot. So I approach the bird in the same way. Now I'm coming here in the same position, but now I'm pushing the bird cross-court to the back in a pressure way. So I've hit over there. Now I have to, this is actually the most difficult recovery because I have to get back like I would on the straight lift, but now I also have to make sure that I'm a little bit covering over to the cross-court side because the badminton court is not a square, it's a rectangle, longer than it is wide. So that means in this shot, I have to cheat over to cover the straight shots, which are going to approach fastest. So after I've done the push cross court, I have to jump all the way back with a little bit of a cheat over to covering that straight side. So you can approximate by saying that your racket foot is either on the line or just over the center line. So it looks like this. Here's my base. I push cross and I come all the way back. See, I'm no longer in the middle. I'm now favoring the straight with my racket up. See that again. One more time. Cross, back. Let's see it on the left. Cross, back. So now, this foot, because now I'm hitting the left-handed forehand, will push into my opponent's deep left side of their court, so then I'm covering the straight reply, and my foot is slightly over the center line. Let's see it again. And back. And back. So, to summarize what the 4 different recoveries we did today, this is a more advanced footwork. But based on the foundation we've built in previous sessions, you guys are ready for this. You have to not only be aware of how you're moving to the shot you're after, but also anticipating how am I going to best move to the next shot. So if you have any questions, write them down to me. We'll try and cover them in the future. Otherwise, now it's important that you do your homework. For this time, your homework is going to be very slow. Okay, this is not about going fast for this time, because there's a lot of information that needs to settle in. So what I want you to do is cover all 4 shots, all 4 different recoveries, but going very slow, 10 shots each, 10 sets of 10 shots. So that means first doing the straight net coverage. Cover the straight and then wait for the straight reply. Cover the straight, wait for the straight. I want you to do 10 times 10 of those. Then 10 times 10 covering the straight push. So you have to come all the way back, but your foot is either just on this side or about the line to cover the straight reply. Push all the way back, and make sure, take it slow so you can check your positioning. Ideally, you can do this on a badminton court, but if you can't, then you can always put down some tape so you can be aware of what your target is to get back, so that you have a gauge of where you are on the center line. Then the third one, cross net, following it up with a recovery over towards the cross direction. Cross net, recover, 10 times 10 of those. And lastly, the cross push. Cross push, now I have to get all the way over, racket up, covering with my right leg or my racket leg, straddling the other side of the center line. Okay, a lot of information today, but based on the foundation we've built up, I know you guys can handle it. So until next time, step your game up.